Hi friends, I have the honor to interview Mary Barua. Mary Barua runs a center called National Center for Autism in New Delhi, and she's committed to bringing about a change in the lives of autistic kids and their families and individuals. And she does it with her team, and she is just amazing. I met her for the first time in 2000 when she came to deliver a workshop on autism in Mumbai, and I was really inspired by her work and so much of energy that she has that I went to learn from her in 2001 at her center called Action for Autism, and in those days. And let's listen to her and let's see what she has to share. She is an amazing person and an amazing mother and a very lovely professional. And Mary, the other thing that I wanted to ask you was, as individuals with autism grow, their sexual needs also grow along, and it's difficult for parents to understand one and to know how to deal with it. So anything that you would like to suggest for that?
Yeah, the sexuality is something that we covered in all our workshops. At least in recent years, every workshop we try and cover it because this is a huge, big area. See, this is something, first of all, parents will have to get it out of their head that it's a bad thing. That's the first thing. That a sexual need is not a bad thing because if it were a bad thing, then the kid would not have been born. Right? So that's something parents seem to forget. So sexual needs are a very natural part of human beings. Right? The second thing is that when the child is very young, it starts right from then. There is an exploration of their bodies, and the kids start getting a lot of undue attention for all their sexual exploration. So that eventually it becomes a way for them to get attention from the family or to kind of to have some kind of a control, because people with autism have very little control. So they try to see what ways they can have control, like every human being would. And very often that is a way of control. When I do this, my father speaks to me.
Yeah.
Even if he's speaking in a high voice, he's at least speaking to me.
Yeah.
So it's one way of having control. The other thing is that, remember, like I said, it is a natural need. So if you feel that, it all depends on what the individual is doing. If the individual is touching themselves or doing stuff that bothers them, give them a time. Teach them about privacy. We talk about teaching them about privacy, which would be about what are private times, what are private behaviors, and all of that thing. Teach them, instead of telling them, no, don't do this, simply say that I understand, but this is something you do in your own room. Right? So giving them clear instructions that make sense to them, instructions that are concrete. And I know for certain that all of them are able to appropriately manage their sexual needs by understanding from your instructions which is the right place to be doing this in, which is the right time to be doing this in. And this is something that they can all learn. But the first thing that has to happen is it has to come from parents who have to get rid of this whole thing that is a bad thing to do. And then simply structure the way you're putting it, and they would be able to follow.
And there's another thing that usually it is like, when they get into their teenage years, it becomes very difficult and become, yeah. So
yeah, see, the teenage years, it is not only about sexuality. That's the only one the parents often notice. But the teenage years is a time when all of us, we needed to assert ourselves. Yes. Right? It was a time when it was me, what I am, what I want to do. And our kids cannot do that. Right? By and large, they have to do what their parents tell them to do. They have to wear the clothes their parents tell them to wear. They have to do the activities their parents want them to do. They are not able to lie and get their way the other non-autistic kids do. So their entire life is one of being forced to subsume their identity under their family identity, right? And Unlike many of us, if some of us did not have, and there are lots of different families. So in neurotypical families, if there is a young person who has no freedom at all, you will find that they lie the most to get their own way. That's human nature, right? Now, people with autism, when they reach their teens, there is a strong need to assert themselves. And the reality is, most of them don't get that opportunity. And that is why the challenges happen. And parents will have to learn to meet your child halfway, right? To give way right from the beginning, not make everything. It's like, say, you're sitting at home, okay? And I'll give you an example. Neeraj wants to eat, like pakodi type of stuff every day. Now, in a Bengali meal, you often have that kind of stuff with your rice and dal. But every day is not a good thing, right? So we have a kind of a deal that you will get pakodis some days, X, Y days in a week, right? It's not that, no, you will not get pakodi. But yes, you will get it on Tuesday. I don't say today he asked he wanted it. I didn't say, no, you will not get it. I said, you will get it on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever I said. And today we will have papad. So it's kind of meeting halfway. And that is something parents will have to do across the board when a child is an adolescent. And it's not just to do with autism, it's with any kid.
It's with every relationship also, rather.
Every relationship you have to meet people halfway. But because people with autism are not able to protest and get their way, we force them. And then when they fight back, we say they have challenging behaviors.
True. Thank you.